Today, I am going to create the strongest pirate crew in the world of One Piece. But here's a twist. This time, we're not picking any pirates. No Yonkos, no infamous outlaws. Instead, we're only choosing Marines and world government officials to fill up our crew. That means every single member will be someone who once fought against pirates. And to make things even more interesting, we're not just limiting ourselves to active officers. We can also pick former or retired Marines who were once part of the system. With that said, let's see what kind of terrifying crew we can put together. Let's start with the captain first. For this, we could have chosen Monkey D. Garp, also known as the hero of the Marines, a man whose strength was on par with the king of the pirates himself. He even fought against Rox D. Zebek, one of the most mysterious and dangerous figures in history. And let's not forget, even in his old age, he's still a beast. His galaxy impact devastated Hachinosu like it was nothing. But here's the thing, Garp is not in his prime anymore. His strength, while still impressive, is nowhere what it used to be. So, as much as we respect the legend, we need someone who's at full power right now. And that brings us to our second option, Akainu. Now, this is a scary choice. Akainu is already one of the most feared Marines, but what if he were a pirate? His infamy would be off the charts. He wields the Magu Magu no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that lets him create, control, and transform into magma. His attacks aren't just strong, they're devastating. His magma is so intense that it can vaporize icebergs, boil seawater on contact, and even overpower fire-based abilities. We saw this firsthand when he mortally wounded Ace, proving that his magma burns hotter than any flame. During the Battle of Marineford, Akainu tanked direct hockey-infused blows from Whitebeard and still kept fighting, something not many can claim. And when it comes to his hockey, while it's not explicitly confirmed, there's no way a top-tier Marine like him doesn't have advanced mastery of it. So with all that in mind, for the captain of this crew, the best choice is Akainu. Well, this is just the beginning, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. So, if you still haven't clicked that subscribe button, seriously, what are you waiting for? Go on, click it. Next, we need a right-hand man. When it comes to the right-hand man, we've got plenty of solid options. Fujitora, Garp, Sengoku, but the one that really catches my interest is Kuzan. You see, Kuzan, formerly known as Admiral Aokiji, was once a Marine admiral, but has now aligned himself with the Blackbeard Pirates. Kuzan wields the Hiei no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that grants him complete control over ice. This ability allows him to create, manipulate, and transform into ice, making him a powerhouse in both offense and defense. But it's not just his devil fruit that makes him formidable. Kuzan also possesses immense physical strength, refined through intense training under Vice Admiral Garp. And if you need proof of his endurance, look no further than his 10-day duel with Admiral Akainu on Punk Hazard, a battle so intense that it reshaped the island itself. Though he ultimately lost, he came out of it with brutal injuries, including the loss of his left leg, which he now replaces with ice. Now, why is Kuzan the perfect choice for the right-hand man? Simple. Unlike Akainu, who was all about ruthless reinforcement and absolute justice, Kuzan is far more level-headed and pragmatic. His calm demeanor serves as the perfect counterbalance to a fiery, impulsive leader, preventing reckless decisions from putting the entire crew in jeopardy. Plus, his ice-based powers serve as a direct contrast to Akainu's magma abilities, making for an interesting dynamic. So, for our right-hand man, we're locking in Kuzan. Next, we need a left-hand man for our monster trio. Now, I could have gone with Fujitora here, but I've got him reserved for something else. So, why not pick Garp? Sure, he's past his prime, but that doesn't mean he's weak. It's the opposite if you ask me. As I mentioned earlier, this is the same man who went toe-to-toe with legends from Goldie Rogers' era, delivering bone-shattering punches that earned him the title Garp the Fist. His raw power is ridiculous. This guy can hurl cannonballs with his bare hands, moving them faster than actual cannon. And let's not forget, his training regimen once involved crushing 8 mountains just to prepare for a fight against Don Chinjao, a pirate whose head was said to split continents. And what did Garp do? He punched that drill-shaped head so hard that he permanently dented it and robbed Chinjao of his treasure. Then there's Galaxy Impact, his ultimate technique as far as we know for now. Even in his old age, his combat ability is so terrifying that Cross Guild put a 3 billion berry bounty on his head, the same as Luffy after Wano. So when it comes to picking the left-hand man, there's no one better than Garp. Next, we need a cook for our crew. Now, to be honest, we don't have a lot of options here, so for this, I'll be going with none other than Jessica. Now, I know what you're thinking, who exactly? Well, Jessica is the head chef at G8 Marine Base in the anime-only G8 arc, and while she may not have the most well-known character, she's definitely got what it takes to run a kitchen. As head chef, she's earned the respect of her fellow cooks, keeps a tight ship, and doesn't tolerate any slacking off. If you're not taking your job seriously, she'll let you know real quick. She's bossy, passionate about her work, and she loves her husband. So yeah, not much more to say here. For our cook, we're rolling with Jessica. Now let's choose a doctor for our crew. Well, who better for this role than the world government's top scientist and doctor, Dr. Vegapunk. Now I know what you're thinking. Vegapunk is primarily known as a scientist, not a doctor. But let's be real here. His groundbreaking research and insane intellect make him a perfect choice for this role. This is the man who cracked the secrets of the lineage factor, meaning he understands biology and genetics on a level no ordinary doctor could ever dream of. But that's not all. His technological innovations like cyborg enhancements and advanced medical treatments prove he could merge cutting-edge science with medicine, creating revolutionary cures and ultra-precise diagnostics. And if you need a real example of his medical skills, look no further than Jewelry Bonnie's sapphire scales. This disease was straight up fatal, causing sapphire-like stones to grow on the skin when exposed to light. Conventional doctors completely useless against it, but Vegapunk, he developed a stem cell transplant specifically to cure Bonnie, pulling off what no one else could. If that's not proof of his medical genius, I don't know what is. So for our crew's doctor, we're locking in Dr. Vegapunk. Next, we need a navigator for our crew. For this, I have one particular character in mind, and that is none other than Kaku. You see, as a former member of CP9 and now CP0, Kaku trained as a shipwright during the Water 7 arc. This expertise gives him intrinsic knowledge of ship mechanics, sea currents, and navigation tools, which are critical for a navigator. Kaku's combat style relies on geometric precision, showcasing his ability to calculate angles and trajectories, skills transferable to charting courses and predicting weather patterns. Kaku has also achieved Devil Fruit Awakening, letting him assume a new, much more powerful hybrid form, which greatly enhances his physical strength, speed, as well as his recovery rate. Unlike most awakened Zoans, Kaku's personality was not overtaken by the animal nature of the Devil Fruit. In his awakened form, his already long giraffe neck becomes longer and more serpentine. So for our crew's navigator, I choose Kaku. Okay, this next position is easily my favorite, the swordsman of our crew. Now, for this role, I'm not gonna waste time debating. I'm locking in Fujitora right away. Now, I know some of you might be wondering, why not pick someone from the Figureland family or the Gorosei? Well, here's the thing. We barely know anything about them yet. So, just to be safe, I'm only choosing characters we have solid info on. And let's be real here, Fujitora is a monster. His main weapon, the Yakuza Kazen, a Shikomizue that also happens to be one of the 12 supreme grade blades. But what truly sets him apart is how he combines insane swordsmanship with his devil fruit power. This guy literally swings his sword and drops meteors from the sky. And he's not just about brute force. His reverse grip fighting style gives him insane versatility, allowing him to parry, deflect, and counter even surprise attacks with ease. But here's where things get even crazier. Despite being completely blind, Fujitora can go toe-to-toe with some of the strongest fighters in the world. He clashed with Sabo, the number 2 of the Revolutionary Army, right after Sabo had just gotten the Mera Mera no Mi, and still held his own without breaking a sweat. And according to Sabo himself, Fujitora wasn't even trying. On top of that, this guy casually blocked Doflamingo's attacks, predicted high-speed movements, and kept up with some of the fastest and most agile opponents, all without even needing to see them. His observation hockey is just that broken. So yeah, there's no doubt about it. For our crew's swordsman, I'm going with Fujitora. Next, let's choose a musician for our crew. Now, this is a tricky one. Unlike roles like navigator or swordsman, there aren't many Marine officers explicitly labeled as musicians. So we have two choices here. We either skip this role entirely, or we take a bit of a gamble. But come on, this is a pirate crew. Let's have some fun with it. And if you ask me, there's one guy who actually fits the vibe. Kumadori. Here's why. Kumadori isn't just any fighter. He's an agent of CP0, and before the time skip, he was part of CP9. But what makes him a real contender for this role is his entire persona. The guy is basically a walking kabuki performance. And if you don't know what kabuki is, it's basically a traditional Japanese art form that combines drama, dance, and music. His over-the-top expressions, rhythmic chanting, and theatrical movements all scream performance artist. While he might not be a musician in the traditional sense, his kabuki background suggests he's got a natural sense of rhythm and stage presence. Plus, let's be real, pirate musicians aren't just about playing instruments. They bring energy and entertainment to the crew. And if there's one thing Kumadori excels at, it's flair and theatrics. So yeah, since we don't exactly have a perfect candidate here, let's roll with Kumadori as our musician. Well, if you are enjoying the video so far, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. Now let us choose a rookie for our crew. Well, honestly, there's no one better for this position than Kobe. You see, Kobe the hero is a Marine captain who trained together with Helmeppo under Vice Admiral Garp's supervision. He is currently a member of the Marine Special Forces Unit SWORD. He was formerly an involuntary cabin boy for the Alvita Pirates until he was liberated by Monkey D. Luffy, becoming the first person Luffy befriended on his travels. Due to his status as a hero, the Cross Guild has assigned Kobe a 5-star bounty worth 500 million berries. Now let's talk about his ability. Under Garp's brutal training regimen and his own gruesome self-training, Kobe has developed insane physical strength. And if that wasn't enough, we know that Kobe is a parallel to Garp in the same way that Luffy mirrors Roger in this new generation. We've already seen glimpses of this, like his Honesty Impact, a devastating armament hockey punch that sends out massive shockwaves, similar to Garp's Galaxy Impact. This move was strong enough to obliterate Avalo Pizarro's island-sized hand. But that's not all. Kobe's observation hockey is also top tier. After the time skip, he was able to sense a torpedo headed towards the Dressrosa Proton's kingdom ship underwater from his own ship a ways off, shocking Helmeppo, who did not notice it despite his own observation hockey. Not only that, but he could instantly recognize Kiros's immense strength upon meeting him. Now, we still don't know Kobe's full strength yet, but let's be real. If he truly is Garp's parallel, then his future power level is gonna be absolutely insane. It's only a matter of time before we see what new abilities he brings to the table. So, for our rookie, I'm locking in Kobe. Next up, let's pick an archaeologist for our crew. Now, here's the thing. There's no real archaeologist in the Marines. So, once again, we've got to think outside the box and speculate a bit. And for this role, I'm choosing none other than Jaguar D. Saul. Now, hear me out. Saul might not be a traditional archaeologist, but his connection to history is undeniable. As a former Marine Vice Admiral, he was directly involved in the O'Hara incident, the moment where the world government tried to erase forbidden knowledge from existence. But instead of following orders blindly, Saul saw the truth. He understood the value of history and made it his mission to protect it. And here's where it gets even better. Not only did he survive the O'Hara incident, but he personally ensured that the scholars' research lived on, relocating their precious texts to Elbaf. That means he has direct access to some of the most valuable historical insights in the world. Now, is he a full-fledged archaeologist like Robin? Of course not. But when you combine his ties to the Void Century, his knowledge of O'Hara's research, and the fact that he carries the will of D, Saul becomes an incredibly important piece of uncovering the world's greatest mystery. So for our crew's archaeologist, I'm locking in Jaguar D. Saul. Next, we need a strategist for our crew. Well, for this, who would be a better pick than Sengoku? You see, during his tenure as Fleet Admiral, Sengoku was renowned for his exceptional strategic planning and tactical decision-making. He adeptly managed large-scale military operations, such as the Paramount War at Marineford, where he implemented a multifaceted plan that included psychological tactics, such as revealing Ace's true parentage to demoralize the pirate forces and sow discord among them. This move was designed to undermine the pirates' morale and cohesion, making them more vulnerable to the Marines' offensive. His ability to anticipate enemy movements and devise effective countermeasures would be crucial in ensuring the crew's success in high-stakes engagements. Beyond his strategic and leadership capabilities, Sengoku is a formidable combatant. As a mythical Zoan-type Devil Fruit user, he can transform into a giant golden Buddha, significantly enhancing his physical strength and allowing him to generate powerful shockwaves. This combat prowess ensures that he can hold his own in battle, providing both strategic direction and frontline support when necessary. So for our crew's strategist, I choose Sengoku. Next, let's choose a scientist for our crew. Now, Vegapunk would have been the perfect choice here, but since we already locked him in as our doctor, we need to find someone else for this role. And honestly, there's one name that fits this position perfectly, and that is none other than Caesar Clown. You see, Caesar is a former colleague of Vegapunk, having worked with him both in MADS and later the World Government Research Facility on Punk Hazard. And while Vegapunk focused on advancing science for the betterment of mankind, Caesar took a, let's say, darker route. This guy is a leading expert in developing chemical weapons of mass destruction. His work includes deadly gases, hazardous substances, and most infamously, SAD, the key ingredient in creating Smile artificial Zoan devil fruits. Thanks to his research, Doflamingo was able to mass-produce Zoan abilities and supply Kaido's army. Caesar was even able to successfully enlarge humans, feat that even Vegapunk struggled with. His skills were so feared that Capone Big recruited him to help assassinate Big Mom. Caesar developed the KX Launcher, a lethal poison-based weapon strong enough to kill an emperor. Beyond warfare, Caesar contributed to Chopper's Rumble Ball enhancement, proving his value in medical advancements as well. With his genius, Akaino's crew could have access to advanced combat drugs, performance enhancers, and deadly biological weapons. And let's not forget, Caesar also has the power of the Gasugasu no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that lets him create, control, and transform into various chemical gases. He can generate extremely poisonous or highly combustible gases, remove oxygen from the air to suffocate his opponents, and even nullify fire-based attacks. So yeah, for our crew's scientist, I choose Caesar Clown. Now it's time to choose a sniper for our crew. For this, Kizaru would be a great pick, right? Yeah, I know, he's not your traditional gun-wielding marksman, but hear me out. Thanks to his Pika Pika no Mi, this guy has everything you'd ever want in a sniper. You see, this Logia-type devil fruit lets him control light itself, meaning his attacks move at literal light speed. And when it comes to precision, Kizaru doesn't miss. He can fire concentrated light beams from his fingers, turning them into deadly laser-like projectiles that pierce targets with pinpoint accuracy. Take his technique Yasakani no Magatama for example, where he unleashes a barrage of light particles that rain down on multiple targets at once, wiping them out with insane precision. But that's not all. The biggest advantage Kizaru has as a sniper is his mobility. You see, he doesn't just shoot at light speed, he moves at light speed. With Yata no Kagami, he can reflect himself off surfaces, instantly repositioning to the perfect vantage point. So while other snipers are busy lining up their shots, Kizaru has already teleported to the best possible spot and fired before they even realize what's happening. And if things get up close and personal, no problem. Unlike most snipers who struggle in melee combat, Kizaru is built different. He can throw in light speed kicks or even summon his Ama no Murakomo light sword to slice through anything in his way. So, if you ask me, Kizaru isn't just good for the sniper role, he's perfect. Lastly, we have our wildcard position. Now, for this one, let's do something completely different. And I already know, some of you are gonna call me insane for this, but for our wildcard position, I'm choosing none other than Imu. Yeah, you heard that right. Imu isn't just some random powerful figure. This is the supreme ruler of the world government. We're talking about the one entity that even the 5 elders, the so-called highest authorities, bow down to. And the thing is, no one outside the highest ranks even knows Imu exists. The entire world believes that the empty throne represents balance, but in reality, Imu sits on it, controlling everything from the shadows. Now, let's be honest, we still don't know the full scope of Imu's powers, but what we do know is terrifying. First off, Imu possesses one of the ancient weapons, which is powered by the so-called Mother Flame invented by Dr. Vegapunk. This thing isn't just some theoretical weapon, it's already been used to completely erase the Lulusia kingdom from existence in seconds. Then there's the fact that Imu has some kind of telepathic ability, directly communicating with J. Garcia's Saturn without the use of any technology. And that's not the only thing. As far as we know, Imu also possesses the ability to instantly kill even someone as seemingly immortal as Saturn. All it took was a dark substance emitting from Saturn's body, withering him away until he exploded into nothing but bones. Well, we still don't have all the details on what Imu is truly capable of, but one thing's for sure, this is not someone to underestimate. Click on this video next, where I have created the most villainous pirate crew to ever set sail. Go on, check it out.